The fantasy setting is prevalent across many forms of media, and has spawned huge followings like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. Anime is no exception to this, with shows like Fairy Tail, Hunter x Hunter, and even Dragon Ball Z, which is considered to be the most popular anime franchise of all time. And what's not to love about it? The great characters, the epic stories, the over-the-top action, there's just so many things to enjoy. However, what if the characters from that world came to our world? This is Jonathan from Just Nerds, and today I will be reviewing a series that answers this very question. This is my review of The Devil is a Part-Timer. The Devil is a Part-Timer takes place in the land of Ente Isla during a war between the church and Lord Satan himself. As time goes on, Satan finds himself at the end of the war with having most of his generals defeated and the last of his kingdom being taken by the hero Amelia and her comrades. When it seems like he will lose his fight with the hero, in a last-ditch effort to save himself, he opens up a gate to another world and escapes with his right-hand general Alciel to modern-day Tokyo, Japan. Satan finds himself transformed into a young man with a small fraction of his former magic. With next to none of his former power, Satan gives himself the new identity of Sadao Mao and acquires a part-time position at the local McDonald's. With his new job, Sadao hopes that with the help of Alciel, he will be able to climb up the corporate ladder at McDonald's until he gains enough power to conquer the world. One day, however, Sadao meets a girl who is revealed to be the hero Amelia, who has also found her powers depleted. So the anime follows these characters as they have to get used to our world, deal with each other, and maybe even encounter some old faces along the way. The Devil is a Part-Timer is animated by White Fox, the producers of Steins Gate and A Comic Got Killed. White Fox generally does some pretty good animation, and the same can be said about this anime, as the animation is pretty solid. All the characters and environments look nice, and overall, the show is pretty nice to look at. But in terms of the action, that's where White Fox really shines. Even though Part-Timer is mainly a comedic show, there are a few action scenes from time to time, and they are pretty well done. The action's exciting and fast-paced, and by the 12th episode, just left me wanting more. But if there's a negative about Part-Timer, it would have to be the music. There can be some pretty intense music during the action, but other than that, the music is pretty lacking, and was really the only thing I forgot about once I finished the anime. But I will say that the first opening and third ending are pretty good, and are really the only songs I like from the entire soundtrack. But despite that, the best thing about Part-Timer is the characters. Our main character, Sadao, is really likable, despite being the devil himself. Seeing him try to adjust to the rules of our world was really funny, and led to a lot of his development throughout the series. Through his actions, I really buy his development, as he went from his goals of trying to conquer the world to learning to appreciate his ordinary life, and even willing to defend his new home from those who wish to destroy it. Honestly, it was really odd seeing Satan, who had killed so many people through the war, working at fast food and earning the respect of everyone around him. But even though it was odd, I still bought it, as he was basically an entirely different person by the end of the series. And the same could be said about Emi, the great hero of Ente Isla. In the same way that it was funny to see the devil be this nice, confident guy, it was amusing to see the great hero be just an awkward, klutzy person. But while it may seem odd, it actually makes her more relatable, as she isn't just a serious and uptight hero all the time. And concerning the relationship between Sadao and Emi, they had some really good chemistry. Even though they are supposed to be sworn enemies as the hero and the villain, they actually got along pretty well. And while they do fight all the time, as would be expected, they are there for each other when it really matters. Throughout the 13 episodes, their relationship felt very natural, as they went from hating each other to learning how to deal with each other in the real world to becoming reluctant comrades, and ultimately leaving enough room for a more serious relationship down the road. And I could say the same with the rest of the characters. The interactions with all of the characters were really strong, and just made them a joy to watch every episode. But if there was something wrong concerning the characters, it would have to be with Chiho. Chiho is the second main love interest, and I just found her character to be pretty generic and boring. I mean, she's nice, but there really isn't anything about her that's memorable, except for a certain quality. And like I said, she's a main love interest, so you see a lot of her. But in the end, she didn't ruin the show for me in any way. I just thought that her character could have been a lot more interesting. And lastly, I thought the overall pacing and tone were very good. I could see how some people could get bored with part-timers since most of the time there really isn't that much going on, but the great interactions with the characters honestly made the show go by really fast for me. And when things actually do happen, it doesn't feel out of place from part-timers' usual funny tone, but only serves to add to the anime's overall quality. So with entertaining characters, a fun concept, good animation, and some really cool action sprinkled here and there, I would recommend The Devil is a Part-Timer if you just want to sit back and watch a fun show. And now is my review of The Devil is a Part-Timer. So did you agree with me? Or did you think Part-Timer was just a mediocre anime? Please give your thoughts down in the comments below, because I would love to know. So that's it for now, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.